Hello and welcome to One Called Mama. I am your host, Sam, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, I am going to go over a couple of housekeeping things today. I want to share some of the highlights from my weekend because I had the honor and privilege of representing not only One Called Mama at two fostering events, but I also got to meet in person some of the families that have come and already interviewed for our fostering and adoption podcast that's going to be airing on May 6th. And then I got to meet all those families and then got to be a co-representative of that podcast and talk about the show that's coming and all of the wonderful things that's going to be shared there. So it was a really delightful experience, and I want to share some of the highlights from that. I also want to go ahead and say I'm feeling very under the weather today. I was fine yesterday. I was feeling a little off, but just tired and kind of dizzy. But I just kind of shook it off and was like, okay, I'll be fine. And I got home after both events. They were kind of like 2 hours apart. And so I got home and just kind of fell apart. Don't feel all that great today. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know what it is, but I wasn't able to sleep last night. So I am just not all here today. And so today's episode is going to be short and sweet because I just feel like I need to rest. I feel like I need to recuperate. And honestly, I feel like my brain is not all here and that I'm not going to be super with it today. So we're going to keep it short and sweet, and we're going to keep it simple. And so for the housekeeping stuff, I want to go ahead and say that because we are still working on launching our second podcast on May 6th, the Fostering and Adoption podcast with Nikki and Sam, I have decided that I want, instead of 10 episodes for this season, I'm going to keep it at 8. So today's episode is actually the last episode of season 4. We'll be back in a month, and I'm sure I will have lots of things to share with you guys. If you follow me on social media, Facebook, I'm really active I'm more active on Facebook than I am Instagram. But if you follow me on Facebook, then you will see updates for me and things like that. So if you don't already follow me, go follow me, and you can stay up to date on things I'm doing and what's going on in my world between seasons. So I will be back in a month after today's episode. In the meantime, you can go and listen starting on May 6th to this second podcast that I'm co-hosting with Nikki. I'm very excited about this podcast. I think it's going to be a huge blessing. And I think even if fostering is not something that's on your radar, everyone can do something. And these stories that we're hearing that are being shared are just really incredible in the way that God is working in these people's lives. And so I really encourage you to go listen and tune in and just be blessed, because there are some incredible things that God is doing in our community, and it's just pretty wonderful. The other thing is YouTube. So I started my YouTube channel late last year, and I fell off with that beginning of this year. And I got very overwhelmed with it. I was, since I take seasons off here and I wasn't taking time off from YouTube, I was posting every week. I was catching up with the content. And right now the podcast is all I have. I don't have any other content to put out there. And I didn't know what to do. So I stopped posting on YouTube. Well, I would like to announce and say that I have a new game plan for YouTube, and I will be back active and up and running with YouTube again, I would say, in the next couple of weeks. Now, like I said, my content that I share to YouTube is just these podcast episodes, only it's the video version of them. So if you listen to the show regularly and you've listened to all the episodes, it's not anything new for you to listen to. However, if you are passionate about the things that I'm sharing, if you find that something I'm sharing is would be really encouraging to someone in your life, I think that's where YouTube really comes into play here at the moment, is because it's sometimes easier to share a YouTube video than it is to share a podcast episode. Now, maybe that's just me, but I find that I'm more likely to watch a YouTube video than I am to pull up an episode of a podcast, just because I don't have all those apps downloaded on my phone. That's just me. I'm more of a video person. But, that's not everybody, but you might have someone in your life who would be more likely to listen to a YouTube episode, and that's where that will come into play. And I have come up with a game plan to be consistent and where I will not run out of content. And eventually, when the time is right and when I'm able, I will be able to add new content to it that won't be repeat episodes for you guys listening into the show. So, hang in there with me on that. But I am excited to get that going again. So I would say probably in the next 2 weeks, I will start posting and catching up the past seasons that we've done. I can't remember. I think I stopped late season 2, early season 3. So I have some catching up to do, and I'm going to catch the YouTube up to where we are now. And then I will consistently post weekly from there on. And then when I take my break from the podcast and I have a season break streaming the podcast, I will have a season break on YouTube as well. They will match and they will sync. And so everything I do there will also be done here and vice versa. The other thing, and I think this is the last item, is that instead of posting on Mondays going forward, I'm going to start posting on Wednesdays in the afternoon. So, somewhere in between 2 and 4 is when I'm going to start posting. Based on algorithms and the type of content that I put out and all of those things, that the best time for me to post is apparently on Wednesdays and not Mondays. And so I didn't know this. I'm learning. So going forward, when we come back for season 5, I will start posting on Wednesdays in the afternoons, and that will be my new routine. And when I post to here and it gets streamed out, it will also get posted to YouTube. And I will also be putting the content out on Rumble as well. So that is another platform that I've not even touched yet and was told about. And so I'm excited to get my content out there as well. So I'm really excited about this plan. I'm excited about getting things up and running a little better, a little smoother, being more consistent with those other platforms. It was kind of a hard decision for me to cut this season short, but you guys, it has been a really challenging month and a half. And I have so much that I'm excited to share with you guys, things that I haven't even shared yet because I just can't yet. I have a lot of things happening in my life, just my personal life. This new podcast that we're airing in May, I'm so excited about it. I'm thrilled to see what God is doing and what He has already done. And I also know that it has been a lot on me. And it's probably why when I got home yesterday, I kind of fell apart, and that my body is just kind of shutting down on me a little bit. And I'm taking that as my sign that I need to just go ahead and say, you know what? Let's just cut it here for this season, and we'll pick it back up with 10 episodes for the next season. I think that's my plan. I don't plan on making the seasons any shorter. I don't plan on this being the norm. I like doing the 10 episodes, but I just really felt like I needed a break. I needed to rest. I need to be able to give myself and my time over to these things that have deadlines. And there are some things that I need to put together, and I have this next week to do it. And if I'm not feeling well, then it's going to slow me down, and I just know my limits. So if there's any of you out there feeling like you're in a similar situation that I am, that you're just your body's telling you need to take a break or you need to rest, you need to listen, and don't burn yourself out. Don't get to that place of burnout, because that can be a really hard place to be in. And speaking from experience, it's hard, and all of the things that we desire and seek to do are good. They're good things, and we have to take care of ourselves. So that's what I'm going to do. And I appreciate y'all's grace that you're giving me to do that. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen over the next month. I know it's going to be amazing, and I'm just excited that next month, next season, I'll be able to share some more things with you guys that I've been holding on to and keeping to myself for quite a while now, almost a year for one of them. So, my takeaways from yesterday and all the things that happened. So, there were two events. There was a luncheon, a foster appreciation luncheon, and then there was a dinner, a foster parent appreciation dinner. They were two separate events by two different entities. Um, the first one was run by Cherished Impressions, which Nikisha Ranson is the owner. Her and her husband are the owners of that CPA, and she's who I'm doing the other podcast with. And they do this every year. It's a foster parent appreciation luncheon. They do awards. They had people come and sing and dancers, and it was beautiful. It was just a really beautiful time. And what was so special to me was I had this moment where I was sitting there and I was listening to the awards being given out. I was listening and watching these families with their foster children and their adopted foster children and their biological children and just all of these babies everywhere. I call them babies. Some of them were teenagers, but I call them all babies. I just had this moment where I was sitting there and I was like, I am so privileged to be here right now. The fact that I'm even present for this is a huge honor. And I just had this huge moment of deep appreciation for what God has done and how he's brought me to this place, that this chain of events that has happened since the beginning of last year, January 2024, that led to that moment of being at that luncheon at that moment was just incredible to me, that God had put all of these pieces together, and the way that I met Nikki in the first place last year in January and how our relationship formed. And we didn't know each other. That's a whole story for a whole nother time. But how all of those things worked out. And then here I am. I'm here. I get to be part of these families' lives. I get to love on and pray over these children. There were these twin baby boys, and they were just tiny, uh, and I got to pray over them and just love on them and tell them that Jesus loves them, and the fact that I even got to behold those children. And then there was this 18-month-old little girl, just beautiful, just precious. um just knowing that these children go through so much and they endure so much that they shouldn't have to, and that I got to be there and just talk to them like I would any other child, get to love on them from a distance like I would any other child, like that I would meet in a grocery store or at a park. uh it was such an honor, and to see these families who love these children. And it's such a selfless love, it's such a brave love, because they know they know that every day that they get to spend with that child is, it could possibly be the last day that they get to spend with that child. And it doesn't matter if they've had that child for one day or 2 years. It's the reality is the same. There is no guarantee that they would get to keep them or adopt them, that's not always the case. And it's a very hard reality that they face every single day, and they choose to face that reality. And I have such deep admiration for what these foster families do, and for the people who come around them and support them and give themselves to them, whether it's through respite care or making them meals, or hosting fundraising events, or going and buying them groceries, whatever it is. They come alongside these families, and they support them and help them. And it's just, to be able to witness that was just, it was the epitome of what Christ said when, you loved the least of these, you loved me. it was that with flesh on. I mean, it was that. And it was just beautiful. So that was the luncheon and the dinner that evening. So I got there it was at a church. And so I got there and set up around 3:30. I think I got there at 3:30. I started setting up and I'm walking around. Not a lot of vendors are there yet. I mean, some of them were, but it didn't really start until 4 that you could set up, but I got there early and just walking around and I met a woman who I'm going to have on the show. And she just started her own ministry, her own 501c3. And I was talking with her, and she told me, and I hope she's okay with me sharing this, but she's anonymous right now, so it can stay that way. But she said, I have something I feel like I want to do, and I'm just waiting until I'm equipped for it. And I actually think she used that word that I'm equipped for it. I'm able to do it, that I have enough experience to do it. And the thing that she was talking about, I'm not going to be specific, but she had just told me it was something that she's been doing for several years. And I just looked at her and I said, "Can I say something?" And she said, "Yes." I took her hands and I said, "You are already equipped." I said, "You are already ready to do this thing that God is telling you to do." And then I remembered something, and it's not mine. I said, "God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called." And she had this look on her face like, man, she's like, gosh. She said, Joyce Meyer said that. And I said, I know, I'm not saying it's not mine. She said, no. She said, years ago, back in early 2000s, like maybe 2008, 2009, she said, there was a mission trip in her church that she felt like she was supposed to go on. But she said, I'm not going to do it. I don't feel ready. I don't feel like I should do it. Nope, I can't do it. And even her pastor was saying, you need to go. I feel like you need to go. And she said, nope, I don't think I should. And then she watched, Joyce Meyer she was watching something. Joyce Meyer was preaching or something. And then Joyce Meyer said those words, God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And in that moment, she knew God was speaking to her. And in that moment, she made the decision to go. And from then on, she said she has been on many mission trips all over the world. And that's how she has gotten to where she is now. And so hearing those words from me, it wasn't me, it was the Holy Spirit, it was God speaking through me because he knew she needed to hear those words again. And I'm getting chills because that to to be part of something like that where God is just doing things that you're not even aware of, speaking through you in ways that you don't even understand the impact. It was just such a neat moment. And so we continued to talk, and she told me more about the ministry she had started, and then her hopes and what she wants to do. And um, I said, I think you need to be on my show. and she was like, I would love that. So she's going to be on the show, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have her on because it didn't take long for me to realize that she was a really special person. And I'm excited. I'm excited for her to come on and share with y'all her story and what she's doing and what God has put on her heart to do. If she's willing to share, I hope she will. So there was that encounter, and there were others that I'm not going to share. But what I want you to hear, and what is so powerful for me and so humbling for me, is what God does when we just go and are obedient. It really is that simple. I hesitate to say that because I know that some of the things that we do for God, I know they're not simple. Okay. I know that they get hard. I know that they can get very complicated, very scary. life is just that way. And he asks us to step out in faith in things that seem very, very, um, what is the right word? um, very risky. And it really just he continues to show me that no matter the risk or no matter the cost, it does not outweigh what he is doing and the work he is performing through you and your obedience and in others because of your obedience. And the simple fact that we get to be part of something that is so much bigger than ourselves, I have not found one thing that's more rewarding than that. um, you know, holding my children, snuggling my babies, those are rewarding, beautiful things and things that I treasure, that I soak up and try to just, I do my best, guys. I do my best to enjoy it. There are days where I don't, because I'm maybe more task oriented than people oriented, and my little people need me, and I'm like, no, I got to get stuff done. And so those days I do fail. But even those moments, um, they pale in comparison to what it's like serving God, and the reward, the joy that you feel when you are just in alignment with him, and you see him doing things through you like that. It's incredible. Anyone out there listening, if this is the first time you've tuned in, my friend, whatever that thing is that you are afraid to step into, that you're not quite sure about, you know that God is urging you, he's tugging at your heart. All he needs is your yes. He will take care of the details. Okay. He will take care of the details. He'll give you everything you need. You just have to give him your yes and then walk with him every day in it. And sometimes walking with him means you take a break, which is what I'm doing, which is why I know that I need to take these next two episodes off and say, you know what, we're stopping at 8. Sometimes that's okay. It's understanding. It's an ebb and flow. And God is not a tyrant. He's not a unloving or uncaring God. He sees you. He sees the work you're doing. He sees your heart. He sees your late nights, the tears that you've shed, the worries that you have, the hopes that you have, the ambition, the drive, the desire to serve him, the love that you have for him and his children, his people. He sees that. He wants you to be healthy and whole. He wants you to be at rest. So there are moments where you're like, I need to rest. And that's good. Resting is good. God said it was good. So rest. And then once you're done resting, pick yourself back up and keep going. It's a beautiful thing. It's a hard, lovely, challenging, beautiful thing to walk with the Lord. And the more that we can put our trust in him, the more that we can have faith that he's got it. And we just do our part in that. We act in obedience. We move when he says move. We stop when he says stop. We don't try to take control or make it something that we want it to be. It's a wonderful walk. It's a wonderful thing. So those are my takeaways. Just a few of them, only a couple of them from yesterday. It was lovely. So I appreciate y'all so much. I'm so glad you're here. I'm thankful for each of you that tune in. I know there are some regulars out there that tune in every week, and I appreciate you very much. You are very special to me. I appreciate your support and how you encourage me, the notes that I get, the texts and the messages that I get from y'all, that when you share that something spoke to you, or this was encouraging, or something about an interviewee and that someone came on. It's just, those are great to hear, and they're very helpful. They're very encouraging for me. So thank you for that. If y'all have any prayer requests, any suggestions for episodes for next season. I would love to know what you guys think, what you have on your hearts, what you would like to be shared on the show. And I will seek it out and I will do my best to bring that to y'all. Please feel free to email me at onecalledmama@gmail.com. Don't forget, I'm still doing prayer Bible workshops. If that's something that any of you would be interested in, you can reach out to me and I can work with you and get that scheduled. If you'd like to invite me to a speaking engagement, if you have a ladies' night out or a Bible study or anything in that regards, I would love to come out and speak to y'all and speak life over y'all. And last thing, don't forget, I have a website now. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's onecalledmama.org. That took me a long time. Not really. It took me a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to get it up, but it felt like a lot to get up and running. So I'm excited that that's going, and there's going to be much more content coming there in due time. So thank you all so much. Have a blessed May, and I will be talking to you again soon. Take care.